everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to be discussing something which is important to every type of golfer. It doesn't matter if you're an elite amateur all the way down to a rank beginner. This is all about how to set up your golf bag correctly. It's important because it can save you strokes on the golf course, it can make a huge difference to your game overall, and quite frankly, it might make you enjoy it just that little bit more as well. We're going to be covering the types of golf bag that you could be using, the clubs that you should have in there, even down to those little essential details like the accessories that you can carry onto the golf course. Okay, firstly, let's have a look at the types of golf bag that you could have. Now, this absolute beauty is a tour bag, often used by the very best players in the world and carried around by their long-suffering caddies. It's normally fully waterproof, has an absolute plethora of pockets, and if you have the right contacts, you can get your logo on it as well, which is absolutely wonderful. I'll be using this when I play in a tournament or when I have a caddy. I can put this on my Stewart trolley, which is absolutely fantastic, or on the back of a buggy or a cart if you're the other side of the Atlantic. But this is more of a specialized item and normally the province of very, very good golfers. Second up, we have a cart bag. Now, this is probably the bag I'm going to use most over the course of the year, because this can go on my trolley, it can go on the back of a cart, it can be very multifunctional. Now, it's got a 14-way divider on the top, it's got loads of pockets, and it's very much designed to sit on a trolley like so. But if you're not using a trolley, you're not using a cart, then we've got to be looking at a stand bag. Now, this is the type of bag which is carried along your shoulders. Probably something I'm going to be using on and off throughout the year, especially if I'm just nipping out for a quick 18 holes or I'm going somewhere that doesn't really warrant using a trolley or a cart. Not as many pockets. Usually you can get waterproof variations, but I would say that this bag is the most varied as you go across the entire market. Now, one of my favorites is this absolute beauty. Now, this is a pencil bag, a weekend bag, a lightweight bag. It's got a million different names, but it's very simple. It's effectively a hole attached to a bag with a strap or two. The most important thing is that you pick a bag that complements your playing style. So if you're somebody who uses a trolley consistently, obviously a trolley bag is going to be an obvious pick. Whereas if you walk the golf course a lot, then a carry stand bag might be your best bet. Of course, there's nothing stopping you having multiple options. If you have the ability to have tour bag, staff bag, or a cart bag, and then complemented by a stand bag or a pencil, that's very, very useful. I know my dad, for example, has a cart bag that he uses on his trolley, but then during the winter when he can't take his trolley on the course, he has a pencil bag instead. Now, within this video, we're mostly going to be focusing on the cart bag and on the stand bag, as those are the varieties of bag that most of you are going to be using. So now let's talk about clubs. Now, the maximum amount that you can have in a golf bag is 14, and here's what it usually looks like. So you probably have a driver. Now, this is the biggest club head and the longest of your clubs, which you'll be using off the tee. Underneath that, you'll have fairway woods. Normally, this is a 3-wood, but I would always recommend putting some higher lofted fairway woods in there as well. Maybe a 5, maybe even a 7. If you don't want to do that, a replacement for all fairway woods or long irons are hybrids. Absolutely love hybrid clubs. As you may guess, that is a combination of designs between a fairway wood and irons, because they are what come next in the golf bag. Now, a full set of irons, it can vary, but usually you'll find it from like a 4-iron to a pitching wedge, maybe 4-iron to a 9-iron, maybe 5-iron to a pitching wedge. It all depends on the setup that you use and if you get fitted. Then we have the wedges. Now, the wedges are a gapping tool and also to be used around the greens. Again, it's good to know your numbers. Finally, we have the putter, the flat stick, the thing that really makes all the magic come together. Now, of course, you can make changes to the types of club that you have in your bag depending on what your needs are. For example, if you're struggling hitting the long iron, there's nothing stopping you swapping into a hybrid. I would always recommend trying to get fit for your clubs to fully understand what you need and how that relates to the type of bag that you're going to set up. For example, my dad has a full bag of clubs, a full 14, which he got fitted for. However, when he goes out in the winter, as mentioned, he uses a pencil bag. And to be honest, his scores aren't that much different. Now, depending on the type of bag that you use can have a big effect on how those clubs are organized. If you have a 14-way divider in the cart bag, then it should be fairly obvious. You just stick them in order from the lowest loft to the highest loft, and then if there's a putter well, then use that. However, if you use a stand bag, most of the stand bags out there will have a 4-way divider. Now, in the 4-way divider, in the top section, that is normally where you are going to store your woods or anything with a head cover. Then what normally happens, how I organize my bag, is on the right middle section. That is where my longer irons go to the mid irons. On the left-hand side, this is where my short irons go. And then in the bottom, that is the home of my wedges and my putter. So this setup will keep your clubs in order and it will stop them clanking around in your bag. Now let's have a look at what all the pockets can be used for. Now, the apparel pocket is usually the biggest pocket on your bag with the largest zip. For example, as I slide this one silkily down, I have an extra layer poking out. So usually if you're playing in inclement weather, your waterproofs would be in here, maybe just an extra layer if it gets a little bit cool, and if it gets hot, obviously you can strip off and stick all your clothes in here. Also within this pocket, you have lots of room for spare gloves and any other larger accessories that you might want to carry around. So where in a golf bag should you keep your balls? I mean, on this particular cart bag, I have an absolute plethora of pockets to choose from. Normally, I like to put them in a large pocket, which is easily accessible for when I continually slice stuff out of bounds. Now, for me, that's the bottom pocket. And as you can see, I am fully locked and loaded and ready to go. Pocket to look out for is the valuables pocket, normally located on the side of the bag where you keep your most treasured and delicate possessions. But also you can tell it's your valuables pocket because it's normally lined so nothing gets scratched once it's in there. Maybe one of the most important pockets on here is the beverage pocket, which you can normally locate by its shiny insulated look. Now, you can keep water in there. You can also keep water in one of these side pockets. Maybe something a touch stronger if you're struggling with the slow pace of play out on the course. A nice little added extra that you can pop on your bag is an external pocket. So this is an accessories pouch that I use because normally by the end of a week, if I've been playing a lot, like my bag is just full of broken tees and excess crap. So having a nice accessories pocket on the side, which can clip on, is very useful. And this is normally where I'm keeping my tees, I've got pencils in there, and I've got some ball markers as well. So aside from clubs, like here are some of the accessories that every single golfer needs to have in their bag. Now, get down into those comments below and let us know some of the things that you cannot go without on the golf course. And some of these are representative of a larger amount of things that you could have as well. I mean, if we start from the left to the right, my left to the right, and we've got a waterproofs here. Now, depending on where you play, for example, if you're a regular golfer in Arizona, you might not need to take waterproofs out with you, but here across the other side of the pond where we are constantly lashed by rain and you never know what's around the corner, this is essential. So if you can try and make sure you have a lightweight waterproof in your bag at all times, that is going to really probably save you snivels down the road. Next up, golf is a target-orientated sport and a distance-orientated one as well. And for that, you are going to need a rangefinder. Now, these are readily available. I use ShotScope. I think they're the best in the business and the most reasonably priced. So if you are looking for a rangefinder, I would recommend them. Because golf is so distance orientated, if you don't have a rangefinder, you're effectively just guessing at where your target is. Even the markers on the golf course aren't overly accurate at times. So if you do have a little bit of spare cash to invest, I would recommend that. Now, fuel on the golf course, we are talking snacks and food. Now, to demonstrate this, I have a lovely chicken and bacon Caesar wrap. I'm currently 5 days into fasting. It's really quite incredible to look at. However, I don't really think this would be the best snack to have on a golf course. Normally, you want something which isn't going to fill you up, make you feel bloated, and get in the way of your swing. So some fruit, some nuts, something which is pretty inobtrusive. If you want something to really just keep you going, but also make you sad at the state of the world, get some Nature Valley bars, because they are cardboard incarnate covered in caramel. Other snack bars are available. And alongside that, we've already discussed just taking water out with you to keep yourself hydrated. Balls, right. So this is something which a lot of people disagree about, but honestly, you're not going to need more than a dozen golf balls in your bag at any time. There's a couple of things to counter that. So if you lose a golf ball, generally you're going to be wandering into the woods or the rough, and you'll probably find some more in there to replenish your supply. But also, if you go out for 18 holes and you lose 12 balls, you're probably better off leaving the course and going to have a lesson anyway. So please bear that in mind. Something that you can't carry around enough of are tees. God, I really always run out of tees. In all fairness, at the moment, I do have like this accessory pouch, which is absolutely stocked full of them. Like, this should keep me going for quite some time. If you're somebody who keeps score, you're going to be wanting a pencil to carry around with you, unless your club has gone to a digital format. As well as that, let's remember a pitch mark repairer. Please, please take care of the golf course and use one of these. Ball markers, now technically according to the rules, you can literally mark the ball with whatever you want. However, if you can keep alongside you a few ball markers just in case you lose one, then that would be recommended. Most golfers, once you start to get into the sport, will have a favorite ball marker that they tend to carry around. For me, I love to carry around my little tour-only Scotty Cameron ball marker. These are pretty rare. And then also from Prestwick, the Open Championship first edition. It's a reminder of what I am aiming for and something to really punish myself when I sign for the 87 with the pencil. Now remember, kids, protect yourself. Wear some sun cream. And I have to say, this stuff just smells great. Jacob's in the same room with me now. You can just see he's just gone all swoony. If you're a regular golfer and you want to stay on top of your performance, try and take a few spare gloves out with you in your golf bag. Taking gloves out can be multifaceted, because let's say your glove splits or you just need a new glove because it's completely worn out. You can reach in your bag and you can grab one. And then if it does get wet or it starts raining and you want to carry on using leather gloves, this is a great option to go to. I would also recommend trying to get some all-weather gloves as well, or rain gloves. I am sponsored by FootJoy, but FootJoy do a fantastic pair of rain gloves. Whenever the weather gets inclement, I always slip them on because I don't want my clubs slipping out of my hands. Last but not least, and for dramatic effect, take a towel with you. Oh my word, you do not want to be hitting balls with dirty grooves because the performance is going to drop substantially. Now this is a beach towel that I got from the Masters. This is a little bit overkill, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. I also just wanted to show you the beach towel that I got from Masters. I think this cost me like about $50. Okay, so some final tips for an organized bag. Try and keep it clean, so remove any old scorecards, broken tees, and just random junk, which does accumulate over time. I'd recommend doing this once a month if you are a regular golfer. Check your gear before a round and ensure that you have everything that you need. Also, know your setup, so don't waste time digging around in your bag for stuff that you really need in a pinch. All right guys, a huge thank you for watching. Make sure that if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you do so now, and also hit that bell icon so you're notified of new videos.